Hello, it's Lynn from Lynn's Corner, coming to you with your motivational and inspirational tea. Today's topic, I'll get right to it today. And the topic for today is control. The topic for today is control. My topics always come from things that I experienced through the course of the day, or things that I experienced in the evening, or conversations that I or may not have. And I was talking with a girlfriend today, sister actually of mine, um, and we were talking about a scenario. And I told her, well, she told me, she said it is what it is, right? And I said, yeah, I had to come to the conclusion that it is what it is. That I'm not going to fight for power, right? Because I don't need it. Now, I have come a long way with that topic. This particular scenario, I probably would not have fought for, but I know that I have had control issues, for sure. No, I've had them. And sometimes control doesn't look like what you think it looks like. Control isn't always aggressive. Control isn't always mean. Control isn't always off-putting. It's not. Sometimes we can control situations and people by offering what we think is our advice, right? Let's say a friend of yours calls you saying that they're doing something that you don't necessarily agree with. Now, you can say to them, oh, do you think that's a good idea? You know what I'm saying? Or this or that. You can ask a couple of questions. But when you get into telling people what you would or would not do, what you should and should not do, all that is control. You know why? Because you want them to do what you think that they should do. I teach college courses. I teach on the college level, should I say it, but I teach teachers. And one of the assignments that I give, and I've been giving it for the past 16 years, is for them to create a brochure for parents, right? Based on the information that they have learned in the class. Now, I do it every year, 16 years, every class. I can't tell you how many classes I've taught. But all the way up until this year, I made the brochures had to be trifold. And if it wasn't trifold, then they would get points taken off. And when I say trifold, I mean 2 pages. 1 page for the front, the middle, and the back, and the second page is on the inside. You know what I mean? And so when I was writing my syllabus for this particular class that I'm teaching right now, I said to myself, why does it have to be trifold again, Lynn? Why does it have to be that? Because that's what you want. Maybe it'll be comfortable or easier for somebody to do a brochure that's like folded in half, right? Still, the parents will still get the information. It doesn't mean that the teacher learned any less from you. Why do you have to have trifolds? What I am starting to realize, and so I made that adjustment, what I am starting to realize is that when you need so much control, and when you have to have control over everything, you have to have control over how people do things, you have to have control over how your children do things. Like, you may ask your child to take the trash out. Okay, the child takes the trash out, but you may have a way that you think it should be done. That doesn't mean that your way is correct. And as long as the trash gets taken out, Let your child take the trash out. They don't need to hear a whole lot of, you need to do this, you need to do that, do it this way, do it that way. This is better if you do it. Better for who? Better for you, the one that wants to be in control. And what I was going to say was, what I am starting to realize is the more control that you impose upon someone, the more out of control you actually are. The more out of control you actually appear. Sounds crazy, right? But it's the truth. You start looking very irrational and out of control when you have to have things done the way you want them done. Now, I've read a lot of research on control, and a lot of people who are controlling have had very unstable childhoods, right? They didn't know what was going to happen from day to day, or maybe they had a parent who was emotionally unsafe. One day they fine, the next day they're not speaking, one morning they're okay, by the evening they got an attitude. So the way that they have coped with that is to control their environment. But the reality is, you really can't control anything other than yourself. You can't control people. If somebody is hell-bent on doing something a certain way, let them go ahead. Because how is that really going to affect you? Now, when something is affecting you, that's different. But when really in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really affect you, don't fight for the power. Because that's what happens when a control freak gets into a disagreement with another controlling person. All it is a power struggle. And each person is trying to gain power. Because for them, that power means everything. They need that power. And the more power you need, the less secure you are within yourself. Let's listen to that. The more power that you need, the less secure that you are within yourself. So if you find that you got to control everything, you got to run everything, you got to run other people, you got to tell them how to do this and that. I had a friend one time. She gave me $20. She said, here, this is $20. I want you to take the boys to go get some Italian ice. I said, okay. Go right now after you leave here. We have somewhere to go. No, go right now after you leave here. And then when you get home, call me, tell me what you think. I'm not going right now when I leave here. And if I have to go right now when I leave here, take the $20 back and I'll take the boys and pay for it myself. So it's a lot of ways that you can control. That was a nice gesture, right? The $20 for the boys to get Italian ice. But then you're telling me when I have to go. And then you're telling me what to do after I go. So this is not really a message for other people. This is a message for you. If you have controlling ways, think about the grand scheme of things. How much is this really going to matter? Right? Think about, A, how much is it going to matter? 2, why do I have to have things go this way? Why? What's the reason? And then when you get to the core of the reason, there might be some things you need to work through. The goal is not to have control. Control is an illusion. When we think we're controlling somebody, it's an illusion. I've seen wives talk about how, I don't do this, and my husband don't do that. And if I do this, he bet not, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let me know how that works out for you. Same thing with men thinking they're controlling women. Partners thinking they're controlling the other partner. It really does. You're really not controlling anything. So take inventory of yourself. check yourself, because I know I have had to check myself many times, many times. Check yourself and make sure that you're not being controlling, even if it's a passive aggressive control. Make sure you're not doing that, because the more control you need, the more insecure you are. Okay? Make sure you like, you share, and you subscribe. If you want to hear more, let me know in the comments. See you soon.